Hello, my name is Jeremy Van Wert. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in California, and I'm highly trained in psychedelics. What I wanted to talk with you about today is psychedelic therapy and the ins and the outs of it, and why there remains a stigma about this medicine. Now, you've likely been sent this video in order to get to know a little bit more information about what psychedelics are and why somebody would consider doing it. I would recommend to you, beyond this video, if you're wanting to know more about the history of psychedelics, there's an absolutely wonderful book called How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. Really well written, total page turner book that goes over the history, what this does in your brain, and why it has created such a stigma in our nation, in our civilization. But I want to go over this really in brief because I am, like I said, licensed in California, and I'm able to provide ketamine therapy, which is federally legal to do. So first, I'm going to start with this. Why would somebody consider doing a ketamine therapy regimen rather than just simply talk therapy? What a psychedelic medicine does is it suspends part of the egoic piece of your brain. We all have an ego. Okay, I'm Jeremy. I have this many credentials. I have done this many things. That's wrapped up in who I am. There's also I'm Jeremy, I've gone through this, I've endured this, and when I act in a defensive way, I'm acting kind of out of my ego. If you can suspend that piece of your consciousness and you can go in and suspend disbelief, you can examine your heart, your thoughts at a completely different level. So imagine scraping away all of your self-concepts, things like I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm gay, I'm whatever the thing is that is really ingrained in your identity, and you just got down to a thinking, feeling piece of you. And you could scrape off, for instance, residue from an old trauma or why you drink too much, and go down into your heart and see what your actual value is. I am loved. I am deeply connected to the earth. I have never felt my heart the way that I can feel my heart right now. So I'm just really specifically talking about legal ketamine use because that is the modality that I'm very familiar with working with, and likely why you've been sent this video. What it then allows you to do is to rewrite your brain map with new ideas. Why I deserve love, why my trauma doesn't define me, why I'm worth more than this terrible thing that I've been doing to myself, or these ideas that I've somehow picked up along the way. And when you can reprogram and rewrite those things, and what ketamine specifically, I'm just going to talk about ketamine, does, you have a therapy session, then you have a 2-hour ketamine session, then you have another therapy session, then ketamine, then therapy, then ketamine. Between 4 to 6 ketamine sessions to really drill in any change, break down any resistance that you have had to the medicine, and really drill down on some of these new and very important ideas and concepts. Why would this be something that is very effective for somebody that has an addiction? Let's just talk about alcoholism. Alcoholism is a craving. Alcoholism is a way to escape. Alcoholism is an avoidance of your actual emotions. Imagine being able to access those emotions head on, deal with them, and understand your whole consciousness in a new way, where you're not defending against certain ideas, trying to run away from them, trying to avoid them by using the alcohol. Now, me personally, I've never had a compulsive issue with alcohol. I've certainly misused it like a lot of young people have in their lives. However, an interesting thing has happened in my own life with my relationship with alcohol since I have done many therapeutic doses of mind-altering substances. And it is that my yearning, my taste, my desire for alcohol is something that has all but disappeared. I have bottles of alcohol in my kitchen that I don't touch because I don't even think about them. This is also what happens to people who reshuffle the deck on what their priorities are in their life, because when they can get deeply into their value, into their hearts, they recognize that there isn't that great need to run away from some disappointing emotion or lack of ability to cope with something. And you just simply reshuffle the deck in your mind, connect some new neural pathways, and stop craving the alcohol the way that you once did. Now, let's just take a trauma, a simple one. Let's say that you were in a terrible car accident. This is something that can create the nightmares. Maybe you were a passenger in this car and the driver was terribly injured or passed away. There's often this survivor's guilt that occurs where, God, if I could have just delayed, if I would have said something, I saw the car out of the corner of my eye, it's my fault, I'm the one who did it. If you can learn to let go of these distorted thoughts, these distorted versions, because you're a killer because you didn't say something soon enough to warn the driver that there was danger coming. That thought distortion about something you could not have seen in real time, you become able to recognize that thought distortion and come to peace with that moment in your life. It reduces the distress. It reduces the nightmares. It reduces the return broken record on that thought that keeps coming up and keeps coming up. That's what post-traumatic stress disorder does. It just keeps coming up because you're essentially rehearsing the same thought process over and over because you've become attached to it. Imagine a medicine that can help you rearrange how that memory, how those emotions work in your mind so that you can come to let it go. The studies on how this medicine actually helps people, they are really quite profound. Now, why has this medicine gained such a stigma in our civilization? And you can only go back to seeing the ways in which the powers that be have not wanted the people to be able to access healing in this way. What happens to customers of the medical system when there is medicine that the medical system doesn't provide that actually heals a person, doesn't just cover up their symptoms, but it actually goes in and heals the person's heart? Well, that's not a repeat customer. That's not quarterly growth. That's healing of the person. And it's against what the medical system has become. I don't like saying this any more than you like hearing it, but deep down, we kind of understand this, and it's insidious. What if there was a government like ours in the 1960s that was engaged in a war that was very difficult to defend? And you had much of a generation of young people going, I'm not going to go and fight your war because I have seen things that are bigger than this conflict, than what you're talking about. I don't believe you. You lose control of the youth in your civilization. And what I'm saying is that when you are in one of these spaces and you are healthfully grieving old pain, you are healthfully connecting with beauty and love and being, so that you are getting the kind of nourishment that maybe you've needed for decades and decades and decades and didn't get. And you come out of this and you go, how on earth could something that connects me in this way, in a way that is clinical, in a way that is mystical, in a way that is psychological, in a way that is multidimensional, in a way that people have enjoyed for eons and eons of human history and connected with and build ceremony around. What kind of system would not want me to connect with myself and my higher self in this way? That is the question that one should be asking, not why do I feel this great stigma for this medicine? So if you have more questions about what this medicine is, what this medicine does, mindfulmutiny.com is where you can go to find out more information about me, book a 15-minute consultation about what it is that I might be able to do to help you with your journey. And if you have had a psychedelic experience that has disturbed you, that has created something in your life where you're not sure what to do with it, and there's nobody around you that has the training to work with you on that, you need integration. You need help. You need counsel with regard to this. And whether it's a coaching thing or a therapeutic thing, I am trained to help you with whatever it was that either disturbed you or helped you go to the next level of your consciousness, and you want to hold on to that. So if you have any more questions, please contact me. Go to mindfulmutiny.com because I want to help you. Go be something great.